Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Look at what we got here. Kapow! 2016 Cadillac SRX all-wheel drive, 3.6 liter with about 123,000 miles on it. And just picked this up over at our friends at AutoGator. Right here in Roseville, California. You have an opportunity to get on there, www.autogator.com. Click on the repairables button and you'll see a full list of various brands and makes and models of cars. And some of them have clean titles. Majority of them are repairable and will be branded as either salvage or it's junked. And most of them are a insurance write-off. And I believe that's what happened to this one. For frame damage. We'll jump back there in just a minute, but this is just an initial overview on this video series. And if you know anything about these cars, they are a Cadillac with the infamous HID bulbs and lenses. And what happens is the chrome inside the headlights flakes away, and then over time, due to the heat of either the HID or the halogen bulbs, and then eventually your headlight is so dim they don't even work. And this particular model doesn't have the fog light. I actually moved them up in here, and so just to change out that, you have to take off the whole grille and everything, and one of these is about $800. And there are some on Amazon and eBay, they're aftermarket, what have you, and you know, you can replace them and maybe get a year or two out of them. But the OG Cadillac OEM headlights from the dealership are about $800. So think about that if you're thinking about this. This project, I think, is going to be a little bit better than the previous ones. We've done our Volvo, we've done our Mini Cooper, we've done our Volkswagen CC project. We did our Mini Cooper. I think this is going to turn out a little bit better than the majority of those, with the exception of the Volvo. The Volvo just needed a fender and a hood and just some Mickey Mouse stuff, you know, parts and fasteners on that project. But that car only has 60,000 miles on it, and I've been driving the hell out of that. That's that Volvo T5. If you have a chance, go back and look at my other videos and playlist, and you'll see that project there as well. But it's the infamous 3.6 V6 variable valve timing. Oh my gosh, that means timing chain. Okay, I would have thought that too. But on this project, and whenever I was over there looking at it, I pulled the dipstick and look at this. Look at the color of that oil. You can see those hash marks in the dipstick. It's pretty new. So oil's been changed recently. AC Delco filter. And I pulled this transmission dipstick. Oh, look at that. Red as fingernail polish, folks. For 120 some odd thousand miles, you would think that would be a little bit darker than that. So that was a couple of indicators that I thought this was taken care of. The other thing is, it smells like Estee Lauder or a Mary Kay bomb has been exploded on the inside. But just take a look at the outside real quick before we jump in. The only damage is here, and listed on the paperwork was frame damage. And basically what it is, the subframe, what they call the F frame that attaches to the unibody that holds the suspension. You can see this arm right here. If you follow it up, you'll see how it's bent, it kind of concave up there. Well, that's that whole subframe. And then the lower trailing arm, well, the A arm, if you will, that supports your rotor and your axle and everything, that's damaged on the frame under there as well. So we'll get a little bit more deep and detailed in there as we get in this video series, but check this out. electronic gauges. Got your Cadillac CUE or Q system. Heads-up display. Oh, this thing, there's not even any hand marks on the steering wheel or any scratches anywhere. Look, it's still got the paint. Now, this is a 2016, so it's less than, it's, what is it, 9 years old. This is 2025. So, I mean, you would expect rings and fingernails and everything to be scratched. It's all over this door. You know, grit prints on the steering wheel, none of that. A lot of times the little top of this shifter would be worn away. Not at all. There's no big hairy arm grease print all over the armrest there. It's a Cadillac. And it smells just like Yves Saint Laurent or Estee Lauder. Whoa, whoo. It's going to be a while to vent that out, but it's got that big old panoramic roof up there, as you see. Goes pretty much all the way from the back seat all the way to the dash. About the only thing on the interior I saw that was screwed up was this here. Seats are wonderful condition, all the pristine leather and everything. I can still, obviously they detailed this, but man, look at that. Still got the floor mats in there. Still, look at the carpet, is just absolutely pristine. These aren't all scratched up, you know, a lot of times from getting in and out if they had kids or whatever. But there's no marks on the doors. Even on the outside, on a black car, you would expect to see all kinds of scratches down in here from fingernails and rings and stuff like that. Watches, nope, not at all. Not at all. It does have the proximity key, push start, and, you know, again, the only real damage is right here and then that subframe. Find a used one, take it. I think the majority of the work on this would have been labor, and then, of course, add that in. And then over 100,000 miles, the insurance is probably like, yeah, never mind. And then they wrote it off. Just my opinion. I'm not sure if that's what happened, but here's the other thing. Oh, this is going to break the budget. Missing our cap. Okay, well, here we go. One-handed. There you go. Stand back. It's got the lazy man's trunk opening. And it still has the cargo containment system in here. These little racks that, you know, you pop in here and you can secure your luggage or what have you back here from rolling around. It's even got your little tire repair foam, well, that slime stuff in the can, and also the little compressor that you plug into your cigarette lighter here if you get a flat tire. Still got the retractable, and it works, luggage cover here. And look at this, not even any fingernail marks up here or anything like that, but here. I just think that's just funny. I mean, now you got your RSX, you got your Lexus 350. They went to head-to-head. They still go head-to-head now. Well, they don't make the SRX anymore, but they're still battling it out. And a lot of people, for $10,000 difference in the price, you could get American luxury that is on par with Cadillac and just pristine. It's historical kickback, throwback to the 60s, the old Cadillacs, you know. And the only thing that I know about this car is that 3.6 engine, or 3.6 liter GM engine is not real reliable due to timing chain. And we'll get in there. It wasn't rattling around or anything like that. And I looked down in there. I don't see any marks from the dealership. Usually they would put some kind of a marking somewhere in there saying that the timing chain had been done. I don't see that. We'll get a little bit more involved in that after we get the subframe repaired back here. I've already pulled off the wheels. I got up underneath there, and I also pulled the exhaust system off, which is absolutely hilarious. I'll show you that in just a second before I end the video. But it's basically one giant exhaust system. that bolts into a couple of flex pipes from the manifolds up here. It's got to be 10 feet long. And then the outlets from the muffler just kind of sit in this chrome hole to make it look like it's welded on there or, chromed. Kind of funny to me just seeing it, how that was manufactured and installed. This does have OnStar. It has the GPS nav. It's got the OnStar, as I said, and then also HomeLink, so you can use it for the garage door opener, and then obviously all the reading lights and the maps and stuff like that up there, map lights. 5-star crash rated vehicle, same as a Volvo. Should be pretty cheap to insure. However, it's very heavy. You're talking about almost 4,300 pounds of vehicle here with a V6. So you're probably going to pay a little bit more for registration. I'm located in California, so obviously they do that based on the weight of the vehicle and also how many cylinders and how much it pollutes and all that stuff. And then obviously we got to get it smogged. We got to do the brake and light inspection. So I made sure, because we learned last time on that Volvo, if there's even a hairline crack in any of these light lenses, indicator lenses, they will fail you. You have to go buy another one. You have to install it, and then you have to go back and pay for a whole brand new inspection all over again. And those are $250 per inspection. So be smart before you head over there. Make sure all of your lenses don't have cracks and stuff like that. Look at the other video series, process that we went through, and you can see a little bit more about that. But look at the brake rotors. The back here, about 99%. There's not even a wear edge on the slotted rotor back here in the back. And then just looking up through the front, those are about 99%, and there's no wear edge on there at all. The other thing is there's no curb rash on any of these wheels, anywhere. And that, for a 100,000-mile car with no curb rash in California, is absolutely amazing. I don't know how, this must have been a garage queen or something. 2016, 15,000 miles per year on average? Yeah, probably. Got a little bit of ding here, like maybe something hit it on the door or something like that. So when I was pulling off the wheels here, I kind of had that old gas smell, like a real old gas fuel. And so what I got to thinking is, when I took off the other one, it was also stunk, like there was some kind of fuel spill or something. I got to thinking, I was like, I wonder if they were at a gas station, they went to fill up, and then this accident happened, or they hit something and wrecked the frame and then called insurance, blah, blah, blah. The only reason I bring that up is because when I got in this car and I was doing the initial checks and pushed the start button, it had a full tank of gas. Now, I don't know how old it is. I don't know how old the gas is, but it's full. So maybe my theory is correct. Happened at a gas station, boom, boom, boom. We'll see. I don't know. Let's go over here and look at the Carfax that I pulled real quick so you get a little idea where this came from. So it has had some accidents, and it does have a branded title. Yeah, because I just bought it, okay? Minor damage, front, passenger side, and rear. I looked everywhere, and the only thing that I found was this little, about the size of my hand, right here. You can see kind of a filled-in dent. And it's starting to leak, the rust is starting to bleed through. So that's all the way to the metal and coming up through the primer and all the paint. And it is Bondoed, so I can actually, you can feel that. Everywhere else, I didn't find anything at all. So, and again, it's minor. So maybe somebody had a baseball bat or a baseball hit it, or maybe a rake in the garage fell over. The other thing is, here it is. 2024 damage to undercarriage back here. So that's the damage that's reported right here. And then let's jump. Okay, so there it is. There's been 3 previous owners. However, you got to subtract one of those because the salvage company or the autogator actually, when they get it, the title to the project or the car, they actually show up at the owner. So original owner, then sold it. Then it was sold to the second owner as a certified used vehicle from Cadillac right here in Roseville, California. So this is an all original Roseville car purchased from a dealership here in Roseville, just outside of Sacramento. Okay. And look at this. Here you go. It's got all the maintenance history. Total loss was reported on 10/6/24. So going back, that's what happened. They total lost it because of that and because of that bent subframe. I get it. Dealership labor costs are insane. The OEM parts from Cadillac are going to be expensive from the dealer. You can find these at salvage yards all over. eBay. Check there. There it is. Cooney Chevrolet Cadillac, sold in September of 2015 to the original owner. All of the vehicle services. Then, and let's see where we've got here. Vehicle, it was sold in 2015. And that person kept it until, usually 20, 30,000 miles. That's usually when they hit it. It was offered for sale at, maybe they just traded it in right back to the Cadillac dealer. Look at this. Then it was sold, and then all of the services, oil, brakes, cabin filter, wipers. Okay, here's the, when the new owner picked it up, second owner, put on, they say, about 13,000 miles a year, but they bought it with 32,841 miles. Bought it from a certified Cadillac dealer, certified pre-owned, and they had a loan on it, or a lease, probably a minor loan on it. Went all the way through here. Look at this, and then they had that damage, that minor damage up here, and then all of the vehicle services over here. We'll just jump back here to the back because this is all just maintenance stuff. Let's see, where's the, there was one, there we go. This was what stood out. At 121, now remember, it got in a wreck and totaled it out in October of 24. So subtract 2 months. Back in August of 24, at the Cadillac dealership with 122,000 miles, it says transmission replaced. And then with 122, about 300 miles later, it says transmission replaced. I don't think that is what happened, in my opinion. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to see if they have service record on that, because if it's got a brand new transmission, we're way better off than I thought we were. I think this is a misprint. I think that is probably just transmission fluid and filter, because with over 100,000 miles, it didn't seem like it was done previously. And that's usually when it is due, is about 120,000 miles. So I think they replaced the filter and the fluids. But I'll go see. I mean, if we got a brand new transmission in here, boom. Alrighty. So there we go. I've got a certified used car sold to a second owner, totaled out from insurance, went up to AutoGator. I grabbed it from them, and they've even got their 3 free months of OnStart still going since April 15th. And so anyway, yeah, I've got all the paperwork here, and picked it up right here from our friends at AutoGator, www.autogator.com. Check them out. So before I end this video and jump into the technical stuff and we start getting into the mechanical items, I want to go back to what I was talking about with that exhaust system. So come with me outside. And let's talk about this gigantic 8-foot long exhaust system. So basically your engine is here. You've got your flex pipes coming off of the exhaust manifolds that bolt into your secondary catalytic converters, which seem to be in good shape. I don't see any crud or any carbon jammed up in there. Then you've got this semi-okay sized muffler, probably in, out, zigzagging out. And you've got about a 6-foot long, 3-inch pipe with some hangers, a couple of places here and there, with this giant suitcase muffler, hangers on each side, and then just 3-inch pipe coming out of there with no chrome tip or anything, just cut off. And basically that sticks up into those little chrome housings in the bumper cover. This bolts up underneath there. And then there's 4 bolts holding the flex pipe manifold into your secondary O2s. Craziest thing. And it's actually molded. The metal is actually molded and shaped to go around the drive shaft. Haven't seen anything like that in a long time. Usually there's a band clamp somewhere up in here or behind the muffler, and then there's like 2 or 3 piece pipe, and then that's a separate system. This is just one giant thing welded together. So I think before we put it back together, we'll hit it with some anti-corrosion paint or muffler paint or something like that to keep any of the rust from hitting there. This is just road grime from that little weep hole. You got a little weep hole here so it's upside down, but this is where the condensation and stuff would come out. And then it just, over time, 10 years there, you got a carbon blowing out of it. But that was the craziest thing. I want to show you all that. And then we'll come back in here where it's nice and quiet. So yeah, wonderful little project, I think. I didn't get up underneath it. I just jacked it up. I got it on jack stands. Note to future people that buy one of these, you are going to have your jack stands up pretty high to get that exhaust system out, because you're going to have to climb up right in the middle, basically of the vehicle, to get those 4 bolts from the catalytic converters and the flex pipes, and they are rusted on there good. So use some or WD-40 or some sort of penetrating oil, and let them set in there before you take it off. And then basically take all your hangers off, shift the entire thing back, drop it down off of the bolt studs, slide it forward so these come out of there, and then you'll have it, and then you can finagle it out wherever you need to get it. If you got a lift, no big deal, but I'm a home mechanic. I do it in my garage. Just word to future people that want to try that out. The other thing is, I so much love having just one car in the garage and having a lot of workspace around to get everywhere. I don't have a creeper. I just crawl around on my blanket like an old school. But make sure you got room. And I think in some of my other videos, I tried to actually do that Mini Cooper over here in this one little 8-foot section of my garage, and I couldn't get the jack moved around. I had to move it, This is nice, getting one big car in here in the main center of the garage, and then just be careful where the cracks are on the concrete. Just some advice to throw out there if you're thinking about doing something like this. You grab these cars all day long, in the auctions or what have you. The good thing about going to AutoGator, in my opinion, number one, when they buy their cars, they have some class. I mean, they're looking for some good stuff. Most of the repairables that come out of there are in pretty decent shape, and they're definitely not parts cars unless that's what you're looking for. But they've got class when they go to pick these up from either the insurance auctions or salvage auctions or what have you. They're looking for the same thing I'd be looking for if I was going to repair and fix something up. And then obviously they're close. They're right across, probably about 3 miles from me, right here in Roseville, California. So thanks so much. We'll jump in. This is a new project. Sorry for the long delay. Had some stuff going on in that house and my yard I had to take care of. So it's been about 6 months before I posted any updates to the video. I do need to go back and post the final video on the Volvo T5 S60 that we did, because I did finish that project up. That's titled, I've been driving that all over. That is it's a wonderful little car. The only thing is I'm tall and I can't figure out how to get the seat set up so that my knee isn't hitting right in that stupid, no, I call it stupid, right in that console that Volvo is famous for, you know, with the little man for your pushing the buttons on the fan speed and stuff like that for your air conditioner and stuff. So anyway, one last look on the inside. This is a cream puff little car. I just love the little panache stuff that Cadillac has. It's still a Cadillac. They still do it. You know, you can buy a Lexus, you can buy your Acura. You know, it's not a Cadillac. And the history with this, it's an American car. Okay, it's made and manufactured in Mexico. I get it. But it's American history going all the way back 1900s. First car to have an electric starter. The first car to have a V8 engine put into it. When everybody else was thinking it was crazy and it's too expensive and too outlandish, Cadillac was doing it. A V8 in a car, electric starter, brought power steering to the market. Developed, believe it or not, the hands-free automatic cruise control that's popular on all the GMC and GM trucks now, and the Teslas and all the other cars on the market. Guess who brought that to the market? That was Cadillac. Yes. I don't know if they own the patent, but go back and look at some of the history on Cadillac. It's really, really interesting. I think the only bad thing they did, in my opinion, was during the Depression, they brought out one of the most outrageous cars, the, what was it, the V16? Right at the height of the Depression here in the U.S., they bring out the most insanely large, most powerful at the time car with the biggest engine. Yeah, talk about the rich and powerful looking down on the little guy. Alrighty, so let's wrap this up. We'll come back and I'll jump into more of the mechanical stuff. I'll get up underneath there and I'll, what's this here? We got a mechanic mark here. What's this? Wonder what that means. We'll see. But we'll get up underneath there. We'll check everything. The good news is I didn't see any oil pan broke. I didn't see any issues with any missing parts under there. I don't see any hoses disconnected. The only thing that I saw was damage to that rear quarter panel, the frame damage, and then the battery cover wasn't clamped down. And that's just because they probably had to jump the car or boost it or what have you. And there's a little zip tie here that's undone. Other than that, y'all know how retentive I am. And then the windshield wiper blades. And I don't think, before I let you go, I don't think I've ever seen a windshield wiper blade like this. That sucker's worn all the way to where it's just flat. Maybe that's how it's made. I'm not sure, but both of them are like that. There's no wiper. It's just this flat thing. Anyway, we'll get from there. And thanks so much for watching. Sorry for the long rambling here, but that's our new project. We're going to get into it and clean it up and get it back on the road. Take care. Look forward to talking to you in the next video series.